I just wanted to know, is this kind of what there's no way you could have imagined this is what was going to happen after you got named captain, right? Has your role changed at all being the captain during this time?
Yeah, it's always been a crazy couple months. It's not what I expected the first summer being captain to go like, but I think we're all working with what we can. We're trying to stay safe through the coronavirus and get as much work in as we can in the summer. So I think everyone's adjusting, everyone's working hard, but this is not what I expected. But we kind of live with what we get.
If I could do a follow up, Ty, have you been able to come back to Eau Claire or travel or see anyone? Have you been stuck in Madison or?
So right when they canceled school, I was actually back in Eau Claire. So I was in Eau Claire for almost 4 months. So I was back in Eau Claire, spending time with my family and with my family up at the lake, or whether it was in Eau Claire, just working out with my brother, hanging out. But it was a good break. That was the longest I've been in Eau Claire in the past couple of years. So it was nice to spend some family time, get a good breather.
Are you also having to be the captain of testing? I mean, you guys have to be tested occasionally. Is everyone kind of accepting of what's going on with that and buying into things that have to be done to ensure, one, a good school year, and two, as best of a chance as possible as that there's going to be a hockey season in the fall/winter?
Yeah, obviously everyone is focusing on safety first here in Madison, which is understandable, and I respect that. And I think everyone's just excited to be back on campus. So we're all doing what we can to make sure that we stay on campus and have a good season.
There's so much uncertainty with this, Ty. Do you at all think about the possibility there might not be a college hockey season, or do you try not to let that enter your mind?
I mean, obviously there's a thought, but at this point, no one really knows what's going on. It changes so much week to week. So there could be a season starting in October. We don't know. And there could be one starting November, December, January. It's kind of all up in the air right now, but we're just preparing for whenever the season does start.
So you are the captain now, and that's quite an honor especially for an in-state kid,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It's an honor. I grew up watching Jake McCabe, Jefferson Dahl, Jake Dowell, all those guys playing for the Badgers wearing a letter. So to be the next Eau Claire kid to have a captain, to have a letter on your jersey is pretty cool.
I know there's usually a lot of, in the summer there's interplay, and even during the school year between teams. And I don't know, has that been limited to now? I mean, I don't know if you see the women's players, the men's basketball players, women's basketball players around. That's just maybe got to be one of the things that's a little weird about all this too, is that everyone's maybe in their own bubble amid a bigger bubble too, isn't it?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things about the summer that are different, and that's one of them. Usually we would hang out with the other teams, kind of mingle with them, make some good friendships over the summer. But that's just another thing that we've changed, is trying to limit the teams to their own team and try to limit the shutdown if there were any.
Kind of a two-part question. Wyatt obviously was captain last year. Did he lend any advice to you when you were awarded the C? And secondly, you got to be excited for him and his future signing with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, I'm pumped for him. I'm super excited. I've been talking to him for the past couple of weeks just about everything, just about last year, about his future. So I think he's super excited. I'm super excited for him. And the one thing he's just told me is just be authentic, be yourself. Don't change who you are. Just because you have a letter on your jersey, just be yourself, and people will respect it.
You talk about communicating and kind of staying in your own mini bubbles. Are you a guy that's always on Instagram or these other platforms talking to other athletes? Are you still communicating with other athletes on campus or at other schools, even though you're kind of secluded right now?
Yeah, obviously I think social media and just the new iPhones have been really good for us just to be able to keep in touch. That was big when we were all at home when I was in Eau Claire and everyone else was spending time with their family. It was good to be able to keep in touch. We'd have group FaceTimes, group calls, just hanging out, playing video games with each other. So I think everyone was still communicating through the whole thing.
Who are you talking to most often? What do you guys talk about?
Honestly, it's just catching up, just hanging out, trying to keep it as normal as possible. Spring in Madison's is a good time. So I think it would have been a casual spring, working hard, just hanging out with the guys. So I talked to a lot of kids in my class. I talked to some of the guys older than me, talked to the incoming freshmen, pretty much talked to the whole team. We had smaller group calls where the team kind of got to know each other with the incoming freshmen. And, we were just messing around. It wasn't anything serious. The season was still a long ways away at that point. So I think it was just messing around, just keeping up, making sure everyone's doing okay. You
mentioned that Wyatt told you to be authentic. What does that mean to you? How are you authentic? What I guess, what did you take that to mean, and how you apply that to how you'll be leading this group?
I think it's just what I've always been taught, just through growing up with my older brother and older sister and my parents, my grandparents, is just be authentic. Don't try to please people just because they want you to. Don't become something just because someone wants you to. Just be yourself. Like there's a reason the team respects you. So I think people just have to maintain who they are.
Expectations, Ty, were so high last season, and it was well documented, and everybody talked about it, it seemed. So what should we expect this year, or do you want to kind of temper any enthusiasm that fans might have to see what this team can accomplish?
I think last year's obviously not the year we all thought it was going to be. So I think at this point, we're just going to close the yearbook, move on to the next one, and be excited for this one.
Well, I got you. I wanted to ask you about 3-on-3 overtime, the potential for that. We've seen it the last couple of years, obviously, in Big Ten, but it always came with that like extra 5 minutes before it. So guys were getting a little worn down. Do you get the sense that players are, maybe if you can even just speak to this, are accepting of going to more of the NHL style where you don't play that 5 minutes of 5-on-5 and you go right to 3-on-3 this season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I think 3-on-3 is super fun. Obviously, I'm probably not going to be the first guy to go out. I think we got some more skill on our bench than me, but it's fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun for the fans. It ends the game in a hockey play versus a shootout, which I'm a big fan of. So I think everyone's looking forward to it.
I mean, we've got NHL like super days coming up with like 10 straight hours of hockey on TV, and yeah, I think everyone's looking forward to that, and maybe scheduling vacation time around it. But how are you? What are your feelings about that? What are you looking forward to seeing in all of that? Maybe some guys that you've seen around here a little bit in the last couple of years too, playing in a weird time of the year, but I don't think anyone's really complaining about the fact that there's going to be hockey in August.
I would say it's going to be good for a lot of people's mental health just to have hockey back on the TV. So I think it was August 1st. There's like 10 hours straight of hockey. So me and my roommates have set aside that day. We're going to spend a lot of time on the couch, but it's going to be cool just with the Badger alumni and the pros. It's fun to see them do well in the off season and in the postseason. Like this one's a little bit unconventional, but seeing them work out, skate with us in the past couple of years, it's super cool to see them do well.
One more thing on the NHL, if I can, you guys didn't get a chance to do the development camps this summer. That I know a lot of guys look forward to that, but how do you replace that? Maybe there isn't a replacing that in what you're able to do this summer. Is there anything you can do to try and make up for not having that week that you would have had really, really high level stuff this summer?
I think development camps are a lot of just experience, just getting to know the organization. So I think we have a lot of good players here. So honestly, the skill level here is just, we have a lot of draft picks on this team. So I don't think the skill level is that much different. Obviously the ice time and the experience of being down in a pro organization is what we lost this summer, but we've all been in contact with the pro teams. So I don't think anything's really missing other than that.